Hello and welcome back to Little Nemo on the NES. We are going to continue with Dream 7 here, Topsy Turvy. I'm going to start by heading all the way over to the right to grab this key. And then we will come back, climb up here, and we're going to need to dodge around some little frogs on our way over to merging with the big frog. Or rather, getting a ride from. Snag this key off to the right. This is definitely a level that has a few keys that are just easy to miss, like that first one, which can be very frustrating when you have to come all the way back, but hopefully we won't have to do that. Anyway, once we get up here, we can get rid of our frog friend, hop on the bee, and then we can either dodge or take out these enemies coming through here. I like to take out the monkey guys as they can get annoying. Apparently I can't get rid of them. Well, let's just get rid of you first, at least. That's unfortunate, but fine. Get a little bottle of health and a third key, and then we're going to head up here. You can go to that one on the right, but you need to come over here to the left side anyway, because once the little demon puffball goes by, we're going to fly up and get that key. Another one that is extremely easy to miss. And we're going to switch out of our bee. Hop on board the mouse, jump off the wall. Oh, that's fine. Jump off the wall to avoid the puffball. And then come down here. We'll set off the puffballs again. Get a max health refill and drop down. Now we're going to kind of push left as we fall, which is going to cause us to hit this monkey. And that's okay, because we're going to lose that mouse health anyway in a second, because we're going to leave the mouse, so we might as well take the hit, get rid of the monkey, and have an easier time getting that key. Now, we're going to take over the frog. And you could go all the way over to the right side of the screen on the bottom here first, but I prefer to wait, take over the bee, and then drop down. Because we're going to get this extra life, and then this full health refill that the bee will benefit just a little bit more than the frog or Nemo would. Another easy spot to miss right up here. So we're going to go to the left first, which you don't really have to do, but there is an extra life over here. So we will stinger the monkey, grab that extra life and drop down. And then hope, oh, that's not what I meant to do. You should have enough flight to pop down and then back up over here, which is a little bit more important as this holds a key. And I started flying too early. Got a little overzealous, but that's okay. So key number 6. So there is one left. There's 7 keys for this level. And all we're going to do now is pop over here. I'll let the puffball go by and then fly up here. Usually I can get up fast enough to avoid the puffball, but I failed miserably. Anyway, all we have to do now is fly across and then drop down right here. So, like I said, we are missing a key, but it is right below us, and all we have to do here is just make sure you don't waste any flight coming over and then right back, and you'll be fine. And with that, we have completed Topsy Turvy. Now, you may be used to hearing from Nemo's mom in between dreams, but things are going to be a little different here. We're going to dive into the real meat of the story, and things are going to advance very quickly. Camille, welcome to Slumberland, Nemo. I'm Princess Camille. This is basically our first real story since the intro. Pleased to meet you. How come you wanted to meet me? The truth is, my father, King Morpheus, was kidnapped by the King of Nightmareland. Not a nice-looking fella, if we're being honest. What's Nightmareland? It's the land of bad dreams. The Nightmare King is plotting to take over all of Slumberland and destroy nice dreams forever. Seems unpleasant. Oh no! Please help me, Nemo. Rescue my father and defeat the Nightmare King. Nemo rather reasonably responds with, I don't think I can. I'm just a little boy. I can't fight the Nightmare King. It's pretty reasonable. But this morning star will destroy the Nightmare King and his men. To be fair, we've been carrying this the entire time. I don't know where it came from, but I don't know how to use a morning star. Who do you think I am, really? Anyway, oh, my bad. Don't worry, this is the land of dreams. I'll just cast a spell on it so you can use it. Wish you would have done that a lot earlier. Would have made the rest of the game much easier. Wow, Nemo says. Okay, now you can do it. You can attack or give away candies. You won't need keys anymore either, which is nice. Please promise me you'll go to Nightmare Land and defeat the Nightmare King. Please. Okay, I promise. And with that, we will dive into Dream 8, the final dream, which is Nightmare Land. There are 3 areas of Nightmare Land, and each area has a boss, which I would say each one gets more difficult. This is also the only land other than the toy train that is really represented in the movie. There, we just gotta walk off the edge after drawing out the bats. Here, we're gonna pop down, avoid some flame bursts. Salamander can just sort of walk right across. And then we're gonna get a health refill here, which is nice. Climb up one more step. And there's always a frog that jumps down from the other side when you least want him to. Or right there, okay, that's fine. Let's climb up here and then across. Jump over you. Now we don't need the salamander anymore, so we can get rid of him. A couple more flame bursts. These ones are actually much easier to avoid. And then we are going to have our first boss encounter. But first, let's get a little training on the Morning Star here. So you can just swing it like a rod and can actually take enemies out that way, which is pretty nice. But otherwise, you will hold it down and charge this beam up. Smaller, less charged beams do hurt, but the full charge is much more valuable and definitely what you want. So we're going to hop down and meet King Penguin. King Penguin basically does 2 things. He shoots some bubbles in the air that float down and can hurt you, and then he releases little tiny penguins that walk at you and can hurt you as well. And we are going to start by trying to have a fully charged shot ready for when he lands, and maybe try to get off a less fully charged one. Oh, I thought we were going to sneak through there. He comes down randomly one side or the other, so usually you just pick a side, start charging, and then if you were right, then hold on to it. If not, then you let go and just switch to the other side. He's certainly the easiest of the bosses, although I'm not making it look like that so far. Bubbles sneaking in to get me. Usually doesn't take too many hits. There we go. Let's see if we can get a good charge with him exploding in the background. Things are going to get a little more difficult as we move forward. Speaking of which, this is probably the most difficult just individual section of the game. Not this part right here so much, but still. We have an extra life here that obviously we don't need. You can't actually go above 9 lives, but we like to collect them anyways. I suppose I could have waited just in case we die here, but let's just hope it doesn't happen. So we wait for that flame burst to go, and this is when it starts to get to a particularly difficult section. Hopefully I make it look relatively easy, but in reality the timing and sort of, I guess I'll call it platforming, really does take a good bit of work to master. These flame bursts always cause damage longer than you expect and have a wider hit range than you expect. Hit range, hitbox, whatever. All right. And you constantly have to be waiting for the puff balls to go by. Now, luckily, the salamander moves pretty quickly. We're going to have to do this whole section again, as you'll see. Wait for that puffball to lock on. Wait for that puffball to lock on. Okay. but we're going to have to do it as the frog, who obviously walks much, much slower, making it significantly more difficult. But the fact that we got through the initial run without any damage is very good, because it gives us a lot more leeway here with the frog. That is not a hit we wanted to take. Let me just kind of reset. Okay, good. Now you really want to avoid taking damage from this and getting knocked off like that, which is really obnoxious. And I really thought we were fine there, but whatever. Let's cross our fingers here. And we'll just jump. Okay. And avoid that puffball. Get up here. And now you're not in the clear, per se, but we're in a much better situation. So let's sprint off here. Luckily, if we do die, this is our respawn point now, so we are at least not going to have to do that again, which is a big help. So we're going to jump down and avoid these spikes. Now there's this little alligator guy down here that, frankly, what I like to do is just take him out with the wand, and then we can jump up here a lot safer, eventually. There we go. And now, this is a fairly difficult jump to do here. You got to do like 2 half jumps and time them pretty perfectly, as the spikes are just high enough not to hit Nemo and high enough to, or low enough that you still have enough time to get through. So let's see how we do. Good. Okay. Now we have a section with some bees coming at us that hopefully we can sneak through here. And get this health refill. Okay. Now, I think there's supposed to be an alligator here because it spawns once you start moving backwards. I don't know why it kind of glitches out there, but we'll take it, I guess. Anyway, once this pops up, we will go through, and now we will face the second boss, who is the Fire Stingray. This is a character from the movie. Can be very difficult. He moves very fast, but you should have a pretty good shot at him. I prefer to stay in the center of the screen. It's definitely the easiest place to dodge him from. And then you just need to make sure that you're in a position where you can hit him, but not be hit by his fire. That's definitely the hardest one to dodge when he comes straight from the side of the screen. All right. Sometimes he'll do a nice string of appearing and doing his fire shots multiple times in a row and not doing the streaks across the screen, which is really nice. Like that. Yeah, here you can hit us at the edge, unfortunately, so we'll take a couple of weak shots. I'm not sure it does a huge amount to help us, but no reason not to damage him, even if it is minor. All right, yet again, we are on the cusp. Luckily, if we die, we spawn right here in the fight. I'd prefer not to, though. See if we can get a full one off. Ah, knew it. Should be okay at this corner. He doesn't take a huge amount of damage generally. There we go. We snuck through yet again. Not a bad still shot. All right, so now we are on to the final section of Nightmare Land. It's a little difficult, but not nearly as difficult as the previous section. I do like that they have this area here that's, I mean, frankly, very easy to get through. And you're probably never going to take a death here if you've gotten to this point of the game, but, you know, just challenging you enough to keep you on your toes. Now, unfortunately, there's a glitch that always seems to happen here. There's supposed to be those platforms crushing down right here, but they never seem to spawn here until this one. But you'll see. So we don't want to jump across here. We're just going to walk and fall. And now they're there. And I don't know why. I think there's also supposed to be a bat right here that just never seems to form. But it'll be there when we're coming back, as you'll see in a second. So we're going to take these bats out with a shot. And then hop on our salamander. And on the return trip, all we have to do is keep sprinting and they'll fly right over us. There's that third bat I mentioned. Here we have a jump that for annoying reasons is just far enough that it's hard to make, but it's not like it matters. I mean, you could do this for an hour and a half and it would never be an issue. Nothing happens. As soon as we get up here, we're going to transform back to Nemo because there's a bat that flies down that we want to jump over. And then we're going to clear the way and take over this bee, because basically this whole section is just going from one animal to the next in order to access where you want to go, which I suppose is not really that different from a lot of the game, but still. All right, so we'll just fly under here. We don't really have to worry about those platforms. And finally, come back to where we all started it. And what I'm going to do, it might seem kind of silly, but it's really annoying when the mouse moves over right under you, especially if you've already transformed out of the bee and you have to go redo everything. So I'm going to wait till he walks back. And then we're going to fly up here, transform, and take over the mouse, because that wall right there is just a little too tall for the bee. So we're just going to walk off the edge, jump, and start climbing up. And once we get to the top, we can transform back to Nemo, and this will be our last transformation. We're just Nemo from here on out. So we just have to go across and avoid these flame bursts, as well as the evil birds. And we're going to get our first real-time look at the Nightmare King here. Oh, that was not good. Let's see. We take him out from here? No. Does he want candy? He does not. Oh well. I was hoping he could be, mollified with some candy, but I guess not. These are not supposed to be going in that order, so we have a little bit of a glitch happening there too, but we should be fine. Or not. This would be an awfully silly place to die. But if we can get through here, then we will have reached the Nightmare King. And if we... Oh, wait, that's right. I forgot about this section. Woohoo! Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I did not mean to fall. That's okay. There was a health refill and an extra life up there, but there's another health refill here, so it's fine. And we'll just drop down, let the puffball go. Now, we are at boss time. But very nice of them to give us 3 extra lives and some health right before the boss. Yes, if you were to die, you would spawn from here, but we're going to do our best to avoid that. Now, the Nightmare King, I wouldn't say he's particularly difficult, but, I mean, Nemo's just so frail that it adds difficulty, so he really only has 2 attacks. One, I don't even want to say telegraphs. I mean, he very distinctly moves his hand into a different position, and then several seconds later, he shoots out 4 laser beams that start high, kind of high middle, and then low. And then he shoots these little kind of red boogers that can damage you, but honestly, I find they work more as like a defense for him so that your shots can't hit him. And I find that, more just boxes Nemo in when you're trying to avoid the lasers. So sometimes they're in a really good position and you want to leave them alone because they'll stay on screen unless you knock them out. Or if they happen to go far enough off screen, they'll sort of despawn and he'll make a new one. But sometimes they're in really annoying positions, so we'll watch for that. You can hit the Nightmare King just about anywhere in his body. In fact, you can even smack him with the rod. I don't know if those do any damage at all, or if it's just really minimized, but really you want to hit him in the head with fully charged shots. So let's try and make that happen. So you see that hand movement there, and then he shoots out. That's a pretty good spot for the little blood booger. It's a little far forward, so we might take it out and hope for better, I think. That's far back. We don't like that. See, that kind of trapped us a little bit. Probably could have gotten back a little bit farther, but you see how that kind of worked to protect him, his little blood booger. Block our shot. So you can see how he's not super hard, but you do have some things to watch for. You can slide under there. This feels a little bit riskier, but certainly very doable. When you have to. Ooh, I thought I was going to get hit by the booger. Ah, Whew. I don't like that at all. I do not like that these are so far back. Let's try and get them to stay up farther. All right, let's see if that'll work. Nice. Yeah, that's too far back. I definitely don't like when it's that far back and I kind of lose it. Plus, would jump into it when it's floating up high. I'm betting that despawned and he's going to make a new one, but we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully, we should be fairly close. I haven't hit him with a lot of fully charged shots, but done a pretty good job. Disappointed that last one missed. Ah. Of course, we have to be pushing it every time. Whew, there we go. Farewell, Nightmare King, and that is it. We are victorious. It's a nice clean run at the end. And now we meet Morpheus. How can I ever thank you, Nemo? You've saved me and my kingdom. Don't mention it. I was just keeping my promise to the princess. Which, keeping promises is a good, important part of the movie itself, so a good inclusion. I know. I'll make you Prince of Slumberland. Well, that was quite a rapid turnaround. Really? From little boy to Prince of Slumberland? Absolutely. I bet Camille would be thrilled. Wouldn't you, sweetheart? Oh, goody. We can play together. Every day. We can have picnics in the Lollipop Forest. Sounds like a nice place. Why didn't we go there? Explore the Taffy Swamp. I can teach you magic. Ooh, it'll be such fun. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Your land is really wonderful. And all but... But what? Morpheus says. Can't you stay? Well, I'd like to, but I promised my mother I'd wake up early every day. Oh, every morning. My bad. Yes, it's important to keep promises. Yeah, sure. Oh, Camille sounds sad. I'd better go home now. Can I come back some other night? Of course. You can visit us every time you dream. Seems like a reasonable way to visit Slumberland. Great. I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye, Camille. Ooh, special goodbye for the princess, who's a girl. Wait, Nemo, don't go. Seems she has a special present for young Nemo. Ooh. And here, this whole quest started off with him hoping not to get a kiss. He doesn't seem too upset about it, though. And with that, the dirigible flies back into New York across the moon, settles down, through the cloudscape, and returns Nemo to bed. Nemo, rise and shine. It's a beautiful day. And it does look like a beautiful day. All right, so with that, our tale is complete. We will sit here and enjoy some credits for a little bit. Game designer, Mickey. I wonder if it was Mickey Mouse. Probably not. Yeah, I think a fun game, a nice game. Classic NES stuff. Great audio and soundtracks to the levels. Pretty decent challenge to the point where you're not just gonna, stroll right through it, but not so bad that it's just agonizingly hard and you'll never figure it out. A little bit of work and practice and you can pull it all together. And yeah, nice fun movie tie-in without being too tied into it to the point where it limits what you can actually do with the game. Trying to force a round peg into a square hole or anything like that. But overall, just a very fun game. I think this will probably be the end of our little mini NES journey for a bit. There's certainly other games that I want to do. I'll have to do Star Tropics 2, and definitely want to do Metroid at some point. That's been on the list for a while, but there's a couple other projects that I think we will get to first. Things that are maybe a little bit longer and some more story-driven aspects, but either way, for now, hopefully you enjoyed, and until next time, see you.